Is that working? Testing, testing. What is popping, y'all? What is popping? What is good? What is... That didn't work. Okay. Dang, that's mad low. Actually, here we go. This is what we'll do. Do that again. Alright, there we go. So that's annoying. So if I have to figure out a way to... Actually, can I do that? Add another source. Alright, so this is what took me so long, because I literally set up everything earlier this morning at like 6 p.m. And then I was in here messing with this stupid Stream Deck, which I've had this thing since for like a year now, and I never really put anything on it, but I think it's a lot more conducive. Like I could just switch like this, you know, play the little sounds.
You what?
All that kind of stuff, just way easier just off of this thing. So finally sat down to actually put it together, but I mean, it's 10:30 now. I should have been on at 10 at the latest, but either way, we here. State of the Gaming Industry, episode 29. So we 2 weeks in a row trying to keep the consistency up. Just getting everything back. I'm trying to have an actual consistent streaming schedule. Like with, what's it called? Just with everything. We played some Liza P yesterday. So what I'm trying to do is maybe do video games like streaming on Mondays, like Monday night, Wednesday night, and Sunday afternoon, and then probably just do this show Thursday night. And then every other day will just be, you know, if I do something extra, I will. If not, then it is what it is. But yeah, I'm trying to keep it consistent. I got back in the gym this week too. Nothing too crazy. I went Monday. I went today. I'm gonna try and go tomorrow as well. Just to get back to it, man. I've been, I don't want to say slacking. It is slacking, but at the same time, it's like, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm just trying to make sure I, you know, get consistent with everything. So yeah. So for today's show, we're gonna be talking about a few things. Obviously, there was an indie showcase for Nintendo. A few cool announcements for that. I actually forgot about it, so I saw someone tweet it out. But we got some more game cancellations, unfortunately. Some from the Xbox side, some from third parties. We want to talk about the Switch prices and stuff. I did a video on that on Monday. Some other stuff, Switch Nintendo surveys that they sent out for like game key cards and stuff like that. So we got a few things to talk about. Bungie and PlayStation, which we kind of saw happening. Like PlayStation ain't giving them the independent stuff is over with. They not playing that no more. So we'll get into all that. I want to see if I can add. If I can, it is what it is. I just want to see if can you add. Can you add the Stream Deck with its own sound? Can you do that? What would it be? Audio output capture? Maybe? Let me see. Captures your desktop audio for the purpose of playing sounds such as music or speech. That's not what I want. Yeah, I'll probably play around with it later. Because the thing is, I have the music going in the background kind of low. Just to have some, you know, ambiance or whatever. But then if I play the soundboard, it's like dumb low. So I don't think I can do that. I could try. Let me see. Real quick. Stream Deck. Device. Yeah, it doesn't recognize the Stream Deck. try one more thing. I don't want to. I ain't about to waste too much time on here. Would it be? No, it's not a microphone. It's not a stream with guests. Application audio. Media. Widgets? No. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out another time. But anyway, um, I said I went over the streaming schedule. I'm gonna try and post that. Like I've been as far as game streams been going, been doing it on I've been doing like dual streams on TikTok and here. But State of the Game Industry will just be on here. I just feel like that makes more sense for YouTube than TikTok. But TikTok, I'm just been experimenting with just to get more of like in the algorithm and stuff, especially with like discoverability. It's the same thing with like YouTube Shorts, where it's a little easier to get found because people are just swiping constantly. So I've been messing around with it, but I just need to be more consistent with it. I've been posting on TikTok like a lot though, probably like almost every day, like 5 to 6 days a week. So definitely check me out on there. But yeah, what I've been playing recently. So I did play the demo for Adventures of Elliot, that new game from what do you call it? From we can actually look at it a little bit. We can go to my. I have to mute this. I was playing it on Switch. It's pretty cool. It's a new HD 2D game from Square Enix, so pretty good. It's more of an action RPG instead of a their normal like turn-based or strategy like Octopath or Triangle Strategy. So it's pretty good. The demo's out. It's only about maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours, but pretty good. Playing that, I beat that. I mean, it's just a demo. There's no carryover, which kind of sucks, but I'll probably pick that up next year. And then I started Liza P Overture, the DLC yesterday. So some of that gameplay's on the channel too. If you check it out under the live tab, you could check it out. But that's it as far as what I've been playing. I haven't picked up anything. This is kind of a slow time of the year for me and for most people. It does pick up a little more September, October time. October specifically is looking crazy, but other than that, there's nothing I'm really like looking forward to. But okay, let's look at game releases for this week. So Metacritic again. I think the only thing is what do you call it? Yeah, Mafia: The Old Country. So this surprising to me because I thought a lot of people was talking up this series. But Mafia: The Old Country, it was like a $50 10 to 12 hour game. This got a 76, so I think it's a prequel, if I'm not mistaken, from the Mafia series. I don't really know Mafia. As a matter of fact, Rockstar games in general, they all look too samey to me. Like, I know they're probably all in the same engine, but like Mafia, Great GTA, Red Dead, Bully, LA Noire, they all look so samey to me. I'm not into it. But I'm curious how the other Mafia games did, though. I know one of them was on Mafia. Yeah, see, Mafia just doesn't do that well in general. Mafia Definitive Edition got a 78. Mafia 2 Definitive Edition got 72. The regular Mafia 2 got 74. And Mafia 3 got 68, so I don't know. Maybe it sells well because I'm just looking at it like, why do they keep putting this franchise out for whatever reason? But I don't know. They didn't do that well. Nothing else here really of no. House of the Dead 2 remake, switching PC. Oh, the new Demon Slayer game. Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 2. I mean, it's probably the same as any other, anime arena fighter. Got a 76, so nothing too crazy. Tickets go on sale for Infinity Castle Arc on the 15th, so next Friday. So if y'all looking forward to that, check that out. Coming out next Friday. Buy them tickets, and then it's coming out September 12th. So if you're into the movies, I low key want to wait though, like for like Demon Slayer. I didn't watch the last season because I already know the last season is not really a lot going on. It's more like a prequel going into this, but then them splitting the last arc into 3 movies. It's such a money grab, bro. And then I hear they're coming out like every 2 years, so we're not going to be done with the show until 2029. I just, I don't know. Like I finished the manga. I bought the manga before, I think before the Swordsmith Village came out, or like when the Swordsmith Village came out, and I was just like, just finished it. So I've been off of Demon Slayer for a little bit, but I mean, I'll see. Eh. All right. Let's get into some of these game cancellations. So the first one we're talking about is Bioshock 1 and 4. So the headline here, this is from Bloomberg. It says the next Bioshock game changes leaders after development turmoil. And let me tell y'all something. Whenever this happens, it's never good, obviously. But it's like anytime you hear stuff got to restart or people leaving and all this, it just throws everything off. So the next Bioshock game, the original creator of Bioshock is working on Judas, which we still haven't seen. I don't know when that game is coming out, but I'm interested in it. But Bioshock is one of my favorite games, especially from that generation. I do have the collection. I did finish the whole trilogy, so really good game series. But it says the 4th game in Bioshock series has been in development for more than a decade, which is insane. Yeah, because Bioshock Infinite came out in 2013, which is crazy. Wait, I need to turn this fan off. I'm like freezing in here. All right. Okay, so it says Take-Two Interactive. Oh, this is the AI thing. How long is the article? Okay, the article's not that long, so I don't have to read that. You could just read the AI. But it says, so Take-Two, which is the parent company of 2K and Rockstar and all of them, is overhauling parts of their next Bioshock game after senior executives expressed unhappiness with its development, according to people familiar with the situation. The game's narrative was identified as an area that needs improvement and will be revamped, said the people, who also noted that 2K Games ousted studio head Kelly Gilmore and moved creative director Hogarth de la Plante to a publishing role. 2K Games said in a statement that the company is working hard to set Bioshock up for the best possible future and is fully committed to ensuring we deliver the Bioshock game that exceeds the lofty expectations of our fans. So this is talking about Bioshock 4. If I'm not mistaken, it says something about, 43 million copies across 3 games. I didn't know that. Where is the... Okay, so 2K Games was also developing a remake of the first Bioshock game, but that was shelved earlier this year, according to people familiar with the plan. So yeah, that... You gotta realize, like, with a game like Bioshock, like, what separates games and what makes them generational isn't just, oh, the graphics look really good, or it's not just the gameplay, as important as that is, but it's also the narrative, and they're not excited with how the narrative went. When you play Bioshock 1 and 2 and Infinite is kind of its own separate thing. It's still connected to Rapture and everything in a sense, but those stories are done so well. So it's like, if you're trying to do a sequel to that, even if it is a little different, it's got to be like, the expectations are super high. Like, you could put out a good game, but if it's not up to the quality that people are expecting for a certain franchise, then you're almost better off not doing it at all. And like I said, they announced it in 2019, but they've been working on it for forever. So, That kind of sucks. I hope they could figure it out because, like I said, I love Bioshock, and I want some more of it. And Judas, I don't know when that's coming out, but it's probably going to come out before before we get this Bioshock. It sounds like this ain't coming out anytime soon. And in today's economy, with video games and certain entries coming out and stuff, I don't know. It might be done with that. The remake is definitely done. I don't think that. I mean, remakes are safer than trying to do a sequel nowadays, so maybe, but we'll see. But now another cancellation. Again, Xbox. We're just used to cancellations from them at this point. But Contraband, which is coming from Avalanche Studios, who made the Just Cause series, it's officially been canceled, and we've people pretty much expected this, even though we haven't heard anything at maybe they kind of spaced it out. They announced Perfect Dark and Everwild getting canceled, those studios closing, Rare having layoffs, a bunch of teams having layoffs and stuff like that. So maybe they're waiting. The ZeniMax Online Studios having the layoffs and canceling. I forget what it's called, Project Blackbird, I think it was called. So this is just Paul for the course. Honestly, considering it, like, this was supposed to be like a heist game, but it says here Avalanche has stopped active development on Contraband, but they didn't use the word cancel. The report said the game is now on hold, citing a source that said the project was in the works for 5 years. And yeah, all we got from this game is this trailer here from 2021 at the Xbox showcase, and it's literally just, I'm gonna skip a little bit, but it's literally like we don't know what this is. Like, this is a bunch of pictures. You can see it says co-op, open world. I don't remember the trailer being this long. But yeah, it was supposed to be like a heist type of game set in the 70s, co-op. But it says there continues to be open positions posted on the company's website, but it's possible they'll be removed in due time. So yeah, that kind of sucks. I feel like I wasn't like super excited for this game or anything, but I think like more variety is better. And unfortunately, this is just another game that we're not going to get. It was going to be a little different, and it's just something else to add to the the library that Xbox has, and it being co-op and everything. That that's something they don't really have a big presence in of their own right now. So I thought that would have been cool, but as we're seeing, Microsoft is canceling a lot of stuff and kind of relying on the heavy hitters or the known IP. So this was almost bound to happen, and like, I'm surprised. I think the only reason it did happen sooner, or even if it did happen, because we don't necessarily know, is that they just had too much going on before, and they didn't want to keep just all the bad news. They had to spread it out. But it says here Hideo Kojima's OD game is still in development, so I think, that should be pretty safe. Like, you get a Hideo Kojima game. I know Xbox is publishing it, but it's like he's been on fire for forever, but most recently with the Death Stranding game. So they got to make that happen. They can't fumble that. They can. It's Microsoft, but let's hope they don't. But speaking of, they did put out their Gamescom, what they're going to have. So they're going to have 20 games, as well as showing off the new ROG Ally, Xbox Ally X. So Gamescom is at the end of this month. So they're going to be there on the show floor the 20th and the 21st. I believe it's from the 20th to the 24th or something like that. It's normally around my birthday. It's like the last week or the second to last weekend in August. But this is just a list of things they're going to have. So they're going to have the ROG Xbox Ally, the Xbox Ally X. Some games they could play handheld will be Hollow Knight Silksong, which a lot of people have been waiting to play. Roblox, Sea of Thieves, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 plus 4, and others. Grounded 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, which I can't wait for. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I don't know why. I guess for the new DLC. Yeah, I think the DLC comes out September, I think 4th, so 2 weeks after this. Excuse me. World's Edge is heading back. Oh, Age of Empires, Age of Mythology, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, Outer Worlds 2, and then the third-party games: Borderlands 4, Onimusha, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater, which will be out I think the 28th, so that very soon after that. EA Sports, FC26, Anemo. There are no ghosts at the Grand. There's no ghosts at the Grand looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. I think it's day one in Game Pass. I'm not. I don't really remember. Power Wash Simulator, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. I just butchered that word. Final Fantasy 16, Invincible Versus, Super Meat Boy 3D, Chronos: A New Dawn looks really good. I think that's September 5th, and Mistfall Hunter. So, and then they got some. Oh, Black Ops 7 will be revealed on August 19th. I'm still like, I don't know why they. I still don't understand why Black Ops 7 is coming out this year. Like, to me, and they've been doing this. I don't know. This isn't crazy, but I guess because this is the first time like Xbox has owned it, the full year of them owning it. But the rotation between Black Ops, whatever the Modern Warfare or Future Warfare, whatever the Infinity War game, and then the Sledgehammer game, and then Treyarch, like that rotation of giving them time to put out the game is like, and with the whole Call of Duty app being a thing now, I just think it makes more sense. Like, some people like, the different Call of Duties that come out. Like, Black Ops 6 is still popular. You're still putting out skins and stuff, and then you put 7 out. It's like, is 7 just going to be a campaign? Kind of the opposite of what they've done before, where like Black Ops 4 was just online. Like, I don't know what's going on with that, but I guess we'll see. But speaking of Gamescom, Nintendo is also going to be there. So there's like the opposite of last year when Nintendo was kind of not being seen a lot at these, because they didn't have much to show. But now we got picture of this is everything they're going to be putting out or have available to play. So Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, this is going to be the big one because people are wondering when this game is going to come out. People are speculating September. I'm thinking September. Or it could be November too, because what Nintendo's been doing with the Switch 2 pretty much is they've been spread it out every month. So like the Switch 2 came out in June. You had Mario Kart World. Donkey Kong Bonanza came out in July. August, I don't think they got an August game actually. So maybe they skipped this month. Then September, you gotta have something. I feel like Metroid Prime would fit in really good there. You have Pokemon Legends ZA in October, and then you have November and December for Kirby Air Riders and Zelda Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. So I think that makes the most sense. But anyway, they'll have Pokemon Legends ZA there, Hollow Knight Silk Song, so you'll be able to play Hollow Knight on Xbox and Nintendo's booth. Hades 2, which this is crazy, but Hades 2 is going to be a Switch and Switch 2 timed exclusive, which is crazy. Elden Ring, Tarnished Edition, Borderlands 4, which is going to be a lot of people. Final Fantasy 7. I don't know why Donkey Kong Bonanza. I guess you want to keep promoting it, but Mario Kart World, Mario Kart Party Jamboree. Oh yeah, they did have Mario Party Jamboree. I don't know if that was this month or last month though. And then they have the Kirby Starcross Worlds Switch 2 edition coming out as well. EAFC 26 and then Cyberpunk again. And then I guess maybe some other GameCube games because it has the symbol there. But yeah, I mean, again, like I mentioned, some good third party stuff, some first party stuff. I feel like they think there's a Nintendo Direct coming again, even though we just had the partner direct and we just had the indie world. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think that Metroid release date's gonna get announced pretty soon. But we could get into the indie showcase right now. Actually, where is it? Here we go. So watch it, and I'm gonna skim through and then just mention the announcement. So the first one we got is Mina the Hollower. So this comes from Yacht Club Games, who made Shovel Knight, and I mean it looks pretty good. It's like that Zelda Link to the Past slash more closer to like Oracle of Seasons, but a little better looking. There's a demo out for this as well, so this is coming out on the Switch and Switch 2. So yeah, it looks good. It's going to be out on Halloween, October 31st, so I'll check it out. I'm into this. I grew up in this era of video games, so I'm into it. Then next you got, if I could skip to it, this game called Well Dweller. So Well Dweller it says you'll fire a slingshot, jump through hordes of bees, and battle giant nightmarish creatures in Well Dweller, the next game from Crypt Custodian developer Kyle Thompson. Its new trailer shows off its Hollow Knight inspired world in a release window of 2026. Yeah, so the game, you can see it's kind of not stick figure-y, but you could tell like the way everything's moving, it's kind of like, okay, each piece of the body is there, and then those are the pieces that kind of like slide back and forth, but it's not a ton of animations and whatnot going on. You got this game Neverway. So Neverway is a life sim RPG co-created by the pixel artist behind Celeste. I've heard Celeste is really good. And I'm really freezing this vent up here. It's coming to Switch sometime in 2026. And yeah, I mean it looks pretty cool. And that's the cool thing about these indie games is, like it says, it's the pixel artist behind Celeste. So they can get someone who works on a game that gets popular and have them come over here and just do like the artwork. They don't necessarily have to be like, major developers on the game or whatever, but this looks pretty good. You got this next game, Herdling. So this is the same team that published Firewatch and the developers behind the Far series. So this is coming out. This is coming soon. The Switch, August 21st. Pre-orders are available today. I'm trying to see what this game. Okay, so obviously it's called Herdling. You're herding these animals across. What else do you do though? This doesn't look. Are there puzzles? They're fighting? No. Just herding. Okay, I'm good on that. Is the seat taken? A puzzle game. So what do you do? So you let players on the Switch drag and drop small shape friends with its cute puzzle gameplay. Wholesome Games present. That's a good. I'm surprised that I haven't heard anybody else come up with that. Wholesome Games is like genius for this type of like cozy Switch game. Pody Studios' new game is out later today. Oh, so this is out now. So I think it's like I was reading about it when I saw it earlier, but you like put people to sit next to certain groups or something, like you read about their personality types or something like that. So nothing too crazy. Little Kitty Big City got some new DLC. My daughter loves this game, so she'll probably. What is this? Oh, I'm an idiot. It says content warning. I was reading it like I thought it was like some type of like trigger warning or censor or something. But okay, so this is a co-op centered horror game, and it will be coming to Switch and Switch 2 in 2026. So, okay, there's not a lot of information here. So apparently this game must be out on other platforms because normally you would tell other people what to do. But I think this is, yeah, it's very like social media focused. SpookTube is crazy. I ain't gonna hold you. They gotta change the name of that. That's nuts. Next you got Ball and Pit, which kind of looks like Brick Breaker a little bit from what I was just looking at. This is, I mean, it looks like one of the mobile games that you be seeing the commercials for all the time. But it says it's okay. Devolver Digital's publishing this one. It's a survival roguelite and comes out October 15th on the Switch, and then the Switch 2 is going to come out sometime later in the fall. So, okay, it looks like there's, again, farming slash crafting elements and shooting and stuff. I'll probably pass on that one. Okay, Ultimate Sheep Raccoon. What do you do in this? Okay, so this kind of looks like not Excite, but I can see a lot of people streaming this game. This looks like, yeah, 8-player mode. Yeah, this gonna be a big streamer game. I can see it already. This is kind of like and it's cross-platform. Yeah, it's like Excite Bike mixed with Trials. Yeah, except it's way crazier and you got obstacles and stuff like that going on. Yeah, I can see this being this is a big streamer game. Alright, Glaciered is up next. Okay, what are you doing this? Underwater action RPG that takes place 65 million years in the future. It comes to Switch 2 as a console exclusive this holiday season, but you can see how you'll be able to level up and slay oceanic creatures. Oh, excuse me. Now, what do you do? Okay. For Switch 2 exclusive, I know Switch 2 ain't the most powerful joint, but this is it's looking a little rough to me. I ain't gonna lie. I know it's an indie game, but okay. Yeah, this game looks. I mean, I try not to be harsh on the indie games, but that game looks. Meh. Now this game, what's it called? Winterboro, right? Oh wait, what did I just skip? Oh, that was only like 2 seconds. Winterboro. Oh, there's like a sizzle reel. That's why Winterboro was pretty cool. They showed at the Xbox showcase last year. It's like you're preparing for the winter, you know, crafting and stocking up on stuff. Got Undusted, Letters from the Past, Tiny Bookshop. Yeah, they kind of this is just a sizzle reel at this point. And UFO 50 was the last thing they showed. Which, oh, okay, that was a sizzle reel too. Okay, well, that ain't that interesting, but okay, that was the Indie World show. Which, I mean, a lot of people be saying, you know, oh, let me add the what's that trying to call? Yeah, I like. It is what it is. It's a bunch of indie games. They, you know, they're supposed to be smaller and stuff like that. So, you know, I ain't there we go. I don't know why I didn't have that on here. Yeah, so like you don't expect too much from it. It's you'll have a few, like, yeah, there's some bigger indie developers like Devolver Digital, Yacht Club Games and stuff like that, but other than that, you've probably seen half of these games, so nothing real big. But since we talked about the Switch, let's talk about the price increase. So I did do a video on this on Monday, so check that out. But basically what happened was Wario64 tweeted out at first. He was saying that the prices were going up on Target, but I seen they were late on Target. So this was Sunday, August 3rd. But if you go on Nintendo's website and Target as well, I didn't check any other retailers, but the prices on the original Switch consoles and accessories for the Switch 2 did go up. So you see right here, the Switch 2 Joy-Cons are now $100, bro. $100 for some Joy-Cons, which the only time you buy more Joy-Cons is if your original ones break and you need them to play in handheld mode, unless you put it on tabletop and play with the Pro Controller. But $100 for some Joy-Cons is crazy. Speaking of the Pro Controller, it went up to 90, and the crazy part about the prices going up on this stuff is the fact that they already went up by like $5 or more a few months ago. So before the Switch 2 came out, there was, the whole tariff thing. We had delays in the pre-orders and all that kind of stuff. And they put up price. They're like, okay, we'll keep the Switch 2 at the regular price, but we're going to increase the accessories and stuff like that. And people's like, okay, it's optional, so whatever. But now to go up to 90 now, this controller used to be 80. The camera's the same. I think it went up to 50 or something. And then they even raised the NSO controllers, all of them. So the GameCube controller was 65 and now it's 70. Can I see the other controllers? They're not on here, but oh wait, what was that? I saw. Oh, this is Switch Online. But yeah, they raised the price on all of it. I think the N64 controller, Super Nintendo, everything went up. So the original Switch is now, you see it right here, $340 instead of $300. And this is like unprecedented for a system. Like, we've been seeing a lot of weird stuff. I said that in my video too, like, there's been a lot of weird stuff. Number one, we've had no discounts on systems. That's the first thing we saw. Then, number two, the other weird thing we saw, prices of systems going up 5 years into the generation with the Xbox, and then PS5 in certain regions, not in America yet, but I guarantee that's happening pretty soon. Then the third weird thing, which we've seen with Nintendo specifically, is the fact that the Switch 2 is out and they're raising prices on the original Switch. Like, that is insane to me. And, I don't want to say it's whatever, but it is kind of whatever. Like, if you wanted the Switch, you would have got it by now at this point. That's just how I feel. I'm not trying to be harsh on that, but like, it is an 8-year-old system. But it's just crazy to see, because now people are saying like, okay, some people weren't, on the Switch. Like, we're looking at, like, look at the OLED. The OLED's $400 now. You know what I'm saying? The OLED's $400, and the Switch 2 is $450. So it's like, you might as well just get the Switch 2 at that point. And a lot of people are saying that too. It's pushing people to get that. The Switch Lite is still accessible at $230, but it was that even $200. Now, the other thing this could push sales for is these bundles. So like the Mario Wonder bundle. This is a good bundle here. The OLED, I didn't know they had a neon OLED until these price changes came out. I only thought they had the white one and then like the special edition ones. But this Mario Wonder for $350, that's a good price. Alarmo went up to $110. Look, the refurbished original Switch is now $300, bro. Like, that is nuts. Like, it's again unprecedented times. We're seeing a lot of crazy stuff, and then the wildest part about that message Nintendo sent was the fact that they said, as of right now, Switch 2 will stay the same price, but for now, like, don't be surprised if it. And they never say increase. They never use the word increase, but it's like when you say prices changing, market conditions, all that means an increase is coming. So don't be surprised. So we already seen the Mario Kart bundle ahead of time. They announced the Mario Kart World bundle. They announced ahead of time, before the launch, during the stream for the Direct. They said this will not be available in the fall. Fall 2025, this is getting discontinued. We selling this joint to you for $80. Listen, we know 80 was hard at first or whatever. We got the bundle where you save $30 and basically get the game for 50. This fall, it's over with, and I'm telling you right now, if you want to switch to, if you plan to get one and you got money for it, just get it now. It's not worth waiting. It's not. I'm telling you, it is not worth waiting. Like if you just get it, bro. I'm telling you. All right. Yeah, man. It sucks, but the other thing that happened was we were talking about the game key cards and stuff. I did a video. I've been doing a lot of Switch videos, but I did a video on the game key cards and people not liking them and third party in general. I basically talked about every step where Nintendo has been fumbling this third party situation, from game key cards to not having different cards available for third parties to buy. Just this isn't necessarily Nintendo's fault, but the sales for third party isn't that crazy outside of a few games, and I think a lot of that is maybe the Switch population getting used to these games even being available on their system, but also they got used to the physical collecting and stuff. I know that is a niche amount of people or whatever, but still, I think, yeah. But Nintendo did 2 surveys. So the first survey was a couple weeks ago, and everything has been so weird. Like I've been with this Switch 2 launch, like from everything I said already with the pricing, then these surveys that have been coming out, like I don't see them. Like it's not like Nintendo's tweeting them out. Like I'll just see a random person I follow tweeting it out, like, "Hey, Nintendo put out a survey, but it was only for Japan, and it was asking about game key cards and do you know what it is and everything." And the problem with that first survey was the fact that they only talked about game key cards and digital games. They didn't say anything about physical games. Now this survey, which I filled out, they took it off after like a day, I think. Like, I don't know if it was up for more than 24 hours, but this one talked about physical, digital, game key cards. It was basically asking, like, hey, what makes in. I want to give Nintendo some credit too when it comes to this, because a lot of other companies, and even Nintendo, everybody has their anti-consumer. I don't like saying anti-consumer, but like they're not consumer friendly decisions that they make. And a lot of people would complain about the game key cards, and you would think like, oh, it's a niche amount of people or whatever. But Nintendo has been noticing this, and that's what these surveys are for. And what comes out of it, we don't know. But I think they've realized that the number of people that are, even if it's not losing them a ton of money, I do think it is losing them some money. No one likes their image looking bad as a company, or like the negative press and all this kind of stuff. And Nintendo definitely, I think, is trying to salvage some of that, because I think with the game key cards, what their intention was like they realized, listen, we want to make more money with the digital sales or whatever, or I don't know. They know people physically collect Nintendo stuff, toys, controllers, everything. These game key cards don't help anybody else. They try to do a middle ground thing where they're like, okay, we think people like physical games because they could put it on the shelf and they got the physical thing to put in and they could trade and all that. So like they had the functionality correct with the key cards, but the fact that you have to download it to use it, it's like, okay, now I know the game's not actually on the card. A lot of people like physical games, not just for, oh, I get something physical and think about it. People like Nintendo Switch specifically because they know they have the full game on the cart. A lot of people don't buy even when they had that little strip saying you gotta download whatever, like people don't like that either. So these surveys, and I did, like I said, I did it. a lot of the questions was really genuinely trying to figure out like, okay, why do people have an issue with these game key cards, or what makes you want digital versus physical? So you can see this is some of the this a sample question. So it says other reasons selected. What's one of the biggest reasons that you prefer physical games? And it's like, okay, I like collectibles like artwork, steelbook, manuals, which they don't even do manuals anymore, but most of this stuff is on collector's editions. But either way, or something that comes with it. Someone just said, I just like collecting them in general. And then someone said it provides a stronger sense of ownership. And that's what a lot of people pointed out, like the fact that I own the game. I don't have to worry about download. I don't have to worry about internet. I could just plop the game in the system and play it forever, give it to my kids, whatever. Um, and then some of these, and then they would ask you like, okay, if it's physical or digital, would you buy it? Would you not? What would make you do it? And all this kind of stuff. And then the interesting part to me about the survey, what I was finding it out was, it seemed like it was in two parts. The first part was, okay, what do you do? Why do you do it? And what kind of walk Nintendo's asking you to walk them through the thought process of why you're doing that. Then the second half was, okay, what if you're buying it for a person? Because someone, and I think this might come from like Twitter conversations and stuff, or them just reading stuff online, but they say like, okay, if you're giving a gift to a friend or something, like it's cool when they open a gift during the holidays, like a family member or something, and they have that, physical game. And then they're asking some weird questions. They were like, oh, would you buy the download from the store? I've never understood people that buy a download code from the store. Like if I'm on my phone or I'm on the eShop or whatever online, like unless that is specifically for some reason super cheap at the Target or Walmart, or I'm already in Target or Walmart or one of these retailers, and like a friend or family member sees something and you want to get it for them, I don't understand it. I'm sure it happens, but yeah. So I think overall, I like the fact that Nintendo is asking these questions and trying to get to the bottom of the thought process of, because I think they might have felt like they understood just from reading online like what people thought, but now they're getting a survey to fully understand, what they can do and everything like that. And speaking of that, so we saw that with the different Switch card sizes. So this is from a Chinese developer. It is translated, but pretty much this is from one of their earnings calls. But the main part is this paragraph right here. So the company, I'm trying to highlight. Okay, it's not letting me highlight it. But anyway, the company is called Macronix. Macronix? Am I pronouncing that right? How you say it? Macronix. Macronix. I don't know. But anyway, so this is the part right here. So it says, they revealed that its ROM products are primarily used in Nintendo Switch game cartridges. In the future, the company will utilize both in-house MLC NAND, whatever that means, and outsource 3D NAND to meet varying capacity requirements. This is the main part right here. Varying capacity requirements. This business is closely influenced by the sales cycle of game consoles and demand for gaming software, and the company will continue to monitor relevant market trends. Ooh. I don't know. I did a lot of reading and talking. I didn't take a sip of water, but yeah, they're developer of Switch 2. From the sounds of it, obviously the survey came out already, but between the survey, just I don't want to call it backlash, but a lot of people were that all you saw during that partner direct last week, from the day it got announced until 2 days after it premiered, was, oh, this was the Switch, this was the game cart direct, this was the game cart direct, where's the, oh, it's on, the third parties are doing this, but oh, Nintendo's not offering them anything else besides 64 gigabyte cartridges. all this kind of stuff. So, I mean, to see that this, but this what sucks too, because starting, I think tomorrow, that all these tariffs and stuff are going to hit. I think it's like 25% more on like China, Taiwan, India, all these places, all these Asian countries. So even if they're going to offer these different sizes, it's like, okay, these third party publishers already like, or developers rather, are already like, we already started, we used the game key cards, or that we just going to do digital. Like, I don't know, but I think there's a lot of money that you can't necessarily calculate, or maybe you can, but maybe not directly calculate, that you're losing when it comes to certain platforms. Like when you talk about the Switch specifically, it's like people double dip, people buy physically and are more likely to buy physically if you have everything on the cart, and people buy multiple times even if you develop. When I say double dip, I mean buy digitally and buy physically, but people also will buy it on another platform that they feel like playing. Like if the game has better uh, what do you call it, graphics and stuff and specs, they'll play it on their PC, and then they say, oh, I kind of want to play it on the go. And then if you have cross save and cross progression and stuff like that, they'll buy it again. I'm telling you, I've seen it a million times. Is that the majority of the people? No, but it's like you're pushing out those people and losing their goodwill just off of that. Like some people are very extreme. They will not support a game if they don't have it the way they're used to having it. So I think these companies need to reevaluate that. Nintendo needs to reevaluate that. Like, yes, I get it. You get more money when it's digital or whatever. It's cheaper. Game key cards. It's not a real cartridge and all this kind of stuff. But it's like, at the end of the day, if they could get more of these capacity cartridges out, even if it's not like 8 of them, but if they get like let's say one for indie developers, like 8 GB, then you get I think if you do an 8, 16, 32, 64, you good. I'm not saying you gotta have a 2, 4, 6, 8, 14, 16, 20. Like, no. If you get those sizes, I think you good. Even less than that. If you do like a 8, 16, 64 even, nah, you kind of need a 32. I ain't gonna lie. Persona 3 Reload's 30 gigs, so yeah, I think they gotta figure that out. But all right, that was a lot of Nintendo talk. Let's go over to PlayStation. PlayStation. So we got some rumors around the PS6 and the PSP2, as people are calling it. So the PSP2, this is from a quote-unquote reliable leaker, but we'll talk about the PSP2 first. So this came from, originally people were talking about the, what do you call it? GTA 6 was going to run on 60 frames on the PlayStation 5 Pro, just based on specs and that's what they're pushing for. Some people also, there's a conspiracy theory that they delayed it because of that. I don't see that happening. I don't know. That sounds too crazy. Like that's a lot of money they lose on the table to do that. But either way, so this is some of the little leaked rumor, and again, take all these things with a grain of salt. There's these random people on forums and stuff like that. Some of them have track records and stuff like that, but let's just, take it with a grain of salt. So it says a PS6 handheld codenamed Project Canis or Canis. That's the nickname for it. So it's supposed to launch alongside the PS6 in 2027, which sounds about right because I believe that is when we're anticipating this next gen coming out. Same with Xbox. Some people think Xbox might come out next year, considering their lineup. I think they could push it for another year, and they're kind of figuring out what they're going to do with their form factor and everything. It says it will be able to play PS5 and PS4 games, which, okay, that makes sense. Directly compete with Switch 2, which I mean, I don't think it can. Nintendo's first party is too strong for anything to really compete with it, but micro SD slot, haptic vibration, dual mics, touchscreen, USB-C port that can connect to a TV or monitor. So that's the thing. You can't have a handheld. Like they'll have the Portal. Maybe they'll do a Portal 2 or something like that. But the whole being able to be dockable is the thing that makes the Switch what it is, even though a lot of people just play handheld. And then higher performance than the Xbox LIX handheld, which is kind of crazy to think about because the LIX is being made by Asus. So, they're a PC company. So it's like, how much is this thing about to cost? Who knows? But then you got some more details here. It says it's powered by a 3 nano. I'm not going to guess what that even means. Whatever this chip is. It says it's bigger than the PS Vita, but smaller than the Switch. I don't know if they mean the Switch 2 or the regular Switch. $400 to $500 price tag. See, that's the part that I'm like, I don't know. Like, if it's more powerful than the LIX, maybe it's the lower end LIX I was talking about. I'm not sure. So yeah, this is just more spec stuff. This is half the PS5 performance, but higher ray tracing, and this is all coming from. It says reputable insider MLID who leaked the PS5 Pro info. So that's the thing. Like I said, take everything with a grain of salt. But when they have a slightly, some type of track record. So if they leaked the PS5 Pro, which came out, then they have some type of track record that you can kind of be like, okay, we could pay attention to them a little bit. But my whole thing with the what do you call it? My whole thing with the handhelds, because people was like, oh, I miss handhelds. Why don't we have the PSP and the, Xbox never had a real handheld and all this stuff, is the reason handhelds aren't a thing anymore is because game development got too expensive and you had to split resources. So with the 3DS or DS, with the Wii and the Wii U, and then the PSP and the PS Vita with the PlayStation 3 and PS4, you had to develop games specifically for those devices. Like, it wasn't just I'm gonna play my Wii games or my Wii U games on the 3DS. I'm gonna play my even though you could use the 3DS as a controller, I thought that was really dope. But anyway, or the PS Vita as it had its own particular games. But now, like with the Portal was like a streaming device, which was fine for a lot of people. It's like, okay, I could play on the go. This thing coming out, like, I don't know what it says backwards compatible with the 5 and the 6, or the PS5 and the PS4. I don't know. I don't think that's what people want. Like, people that are excited for a new handheld are people that are nostalgic for the old handhelds and those having their own games. You pay $400, $500, and yeah, you can play a handheld, and okay, it's dockable, but then it's kind of like, is this their new system? Like, it's saying it's the PS6 handheld, so I don't understand. Like, is it going to be? I think they're just saying PSP2 to make us think about it, but I can clearly, like, bro, the Switch's success was so crazy that Microsoft and Sony both was like, okay, we're gonna partner, or we're gonna make our own something handheld. So yes, I can see them doing something like this. Xbox is gonna be doing something with like more PC related, and then you have Asus or whoever putting out your handheld for you. So maybe they don't make their own, but I think this isn't releasing alongside a PS6. I think this is the PS6. Like, this is going to be the PS6, whatever this. But then I don't know, because then it said it's less power. It's half the performance of a PS5. So I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know what's about to happen, because it just doesn't make sense. Like, what is the point of this system? You get what I'm saying? Like, what is the thing? Like, they're making it themselves. Is it just to play portably? Like, I don't know. And then Oh, the other thing is it going to be streaming device? Is it going to be cloud? Because I think Xbox is further along as far as the infrastructure goes with cloud, Xbox Play Anywhere, cross progression, cross play. They're incorporating Steam, GOG, and all that stuff on their allies. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work as far as maintain. I think PlayStation needs like a some type of PC app or something to because I've been wanting to play some of my PlayStation games on PC to get the to see the difference and stuff like that. But I'm just like I'm not about to buy it on Steam again if I have it on PlayStation already. So I think they're still figuring out that PC world slash if they're coming out with a handheld now. So we'll have to see, but still interesting. Interesting. I think next generation is going to be very, very interesting. And the Switch is kind of set the blueprint for um, what that could be like. Uh, my soundtrack ended already. There's still some clear, obscure music on. All right. Now speaking of Sony, they are done with letting Bungie be independent, bro. It seemed like as soon as PlayStation or Sony bought Bungie for that, what was it, $3 billion or whatever a few years ago, it's just been, yeah, like Destiny 2 been not doing what it needs to do. Marathon's a mess. Like, who knows what's going on with Gummy Bears? But this is from Forbes. It says Sony will curtail Bungie's independence, folding it into PlayStation soon. So this was published on what's today? Oh, this was published today. So we know this is from Paul Tassi. Shout out to Paul Tassi. Um, we know that when Bungie came over, they put they dick on the table. You know what I mean? They had to show Sony like, listen, we got one of the hottest live action games. We made Halo. So Sony paid, but they said, hey, we want our games still coming out on multi-platform. We want to put our games on Xbox. We want to put our games on PC. Day and day, we want to work independently. Da da da. And it was like, okay. So here it says Sony discussed many aspects of its PlayStation business in a recent earnings call. And let me tell you something. These earnings call with the stakeholders, you learn a lot of stuff. People leak stuff. People say stuff they're not supposed to say. These are great. So it was a frank discussion about what's happening with Bungie and how PlayStation is going to take a more heavy-handed role than they originally said they were at the time of the purchase. And this is important to say to stakeholders because unlike Xbox, PlayStation doesn't allow anybody, including themselves, to ruin their name, right? Xbox has been taking this cool uncle approach, as some people have called it, where oh yeah, y'all can do whatever y'all want, and y'all just spending money and taking 7 years to come up with a game, and then the game doesn't sell, or the game's not that good, or we cancel it, and like all this nonsense starts happening. So Sony's like, okay, we'll give you a chance, but yeah, no, like we had what's his name, Yoshi P come out and said like he's had to cancel games that was deep in development because they didn't meet the standards. Like Sony does not play when it comes to their name and PlayStation, what they're known for, which I respect. So Bungie has made a big deal out of the fact that despite being bought for $3.6 billion by Sony, it would retain its quote-unquote independence as a company with its own leadership in place. Now that's slipping away due to problems at the company and studio performance. So this is from the CFO Lin Tao. He said on the call about the governance of Bungie, at the time of acquisition, we were offering a very independent environment. So that was one way of thinking. However, after all of our people stole art for Marathon, oh, sorry, that's my own thoughts. However, we have gone through structural reform as we announced last year so that this independence is getting lighter and Bungie is shifting into a role which is becoming more part of PlayStation Studios and integration is proceeding. In the long term, you can see this as an ongoing process, so the direction is to become part of Xbox Studios. So, but yeah, they've had, like it says here, leadership leaving. Um, the and the fact that PlayStation's already been trying to do this live service push, right? They had Last of Us Factions that was out for or that was being worked on for over 4 years. That got canceled. We saw a whole list. It was like 8 different games that got canceled. We don't know how far they're in development they were, but like a God of War live action game that got canceled. Apparently, a Horizon MMO type of game is still in the works for now, but who knows? We saw Concord was terrible. So like Helldivers 2 has been the only proven live action game for them. Destiny and Destiny 2 are multi-platform and they existed before they got Bungie. And again, the last few expansions have been, underwhelming for a lot of people. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with them, but they also said, yeah, they don't plan to make Destiny 3. We know Marathon got in trouble for stealing a bunch of art. They did say that it's still going to come out before March 2026, but I don't know. We don't know if that's going to be a successful game, bro. Like it's an extraction shooter that's live service, but also costs money. It's it's super niche. It's got to rebuild and take out all of the stuff they had with it. There's the game previews weren't very good or glowing reviews, so they're kind of fighting an uphill battle with Bungie and them absorbing them. I don't know if that's going to help them either. Like, what is that going to actually do? So we'll have to see. But one thing's for sure is that Sony is not playing that. Just letting people just go off on their own. It's like, all right, we let you do your thing for a little bit, but other than that, it's over for that, bro. It is over for that. All right, last topic, which isn't even a topic. I just thought it was funny. I want to talk about it. So, Sega has announced a Sonic. Sega does a lot of collabs. I don't know if y'all know this, but they do a lot of collabs. We have right here. So Sega announced that a Sonic and Timberland collab is coming for the Sega store in Tokyo. So you have right here Timberland in blue, Sonic the Hedgehog. You see the blue laces, and this is just like a closer picture of some of them. It's pretty cool. The emboss like Sonic right here, and then Sonic on the I call it the tree tag. I don't know what it's actually called. But it's pretty cool. Like, I think you could tell none of these people are buying this. These look great. They do look quite good. It's like, yeah, you're not buying these things. Shout out to Genki though. But yeah, they're cool. I mean, I do like Tim's like the subtle collabs they do like that, like the little imprints. You see, you got the T-shirts. Like I have some Bape undefeated Tims, and like it's just the Bape head kind of embossed on the Tims, what you only notice if you look close. So like they're very subtle. But one of the things people are saying is, all right, here's the thing. It's cool, but then like realistically, does it make sense for Sonic to be wearing boots? Like he's supposed to be the fastest character on the planet or whatever, and him wearing the heavy behind Tim boots kind of doesn't like fit the character at all. I don't know. They could be looking too deep into it. I don't know, but I did like think about that. Like, yeah, that is kind of weird. And then it also brought back up the debate about the whole like Sonic is like black culture and black versus white and all that kind of stuff. Which, I mean, there's a lot of evidence as far as like music influence, like from Michael Jackson to like the early like hip hop stuff going on with Sonic games, but I don't know. I don't think this proves anything. What's funny is this is launching at the Tokyo store, and Sonic is not. I don't know if Tims are popular in Japan, but also Sonic himself is not that popular in Japan compared to the West. Like Sonic might be the only like Japanese franchise that is like, I forgot I have this sound effect and I didn't use it. That's bigger in the West than he is in Japan. So I don't know. Sega's coming out with a lot of stuff they got going on, but yeah, that was it wasn't even a crazy topic. I just wanted to add that on here, but that's all I got for this week. I mentioned the streaming schedule. So again, every Thursday night, we're gonna try and continue this show. Be doing gaming streams Monday night, Wednesday night, Sunday afternoon, maybe around what time would that be? Maybe 2. Maybe Sunday early afternoon, maybe like 11 or 12 or something like that. But yeah, we playing through Liza P Overture right now. I'm trying to get through Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm not gonna lie, that game's kind of like, it's fun, but it's so like mindless that I'm just like, I'm not like motivated to play it. Like when I play it, it's fun, but I'm not like, oh, I can't wait to pick this up. Like it ain't one of those. So yeah, but again, appreciate y'all for stopping by. Leave a like on this, share with your friends and family, subscribe if you have not already. Check all the links in the description, and I'll catch y'all when I catch y'all.